Welcome back, Lion Golf Academy members and guests. And yes, you saw the title right. This is the final episode of our 4 amateur challenge, where they submitted bi-weekly swing videos to me. And what I did is I analyzed them, sent them some tips to work on, and what we're doing is testing, is online instruction really better for you than regular instruction? This is important because sometimes it works and sometimes it does not, depending on who you are and the way you learn. So what we'll do today is take a look at their swings from their first submission to the very end, and we'll also hear their feedback, and I will provide you my feedback on this experience and see if this is truly worth your time to invest in online instruction. So stick with me and let's find out what is good or not with online instruction. Halloween? So I looked at the inbox in my email and found only 2 submissions from Philip and Hannes. So Kim, if you're watching this, I know you had some big improvements. Go ahead and send me your final analysis. And also Harrison, if you have a video, go ahead and send it to me. If I have enough time, I'll do one more episode for the 2 of you. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the improvements and feedback from our volunteers. First on the screen we have Philip. Now for those who have followed this series, Philip had some issues with rotation. He would lose his posture, his spine angle, had some club face manipulation issues. He couldn't quite get the club face open to closed, and we worked on through this different motions through the 12-week period. Now let's take a look at his new swing. So his old swing is on the left, the new swing is on the right, and we're going to watch these in slow motion. But the biggest thing I want to show you is his plane work slightly before impact. So here's a steady frame of what I want you to look at. You'll notice his new one on the right side of the screen versus his old one. Look at the plane work. The plane is coming closer to his right bicep for his driver, which is flattening out slightly. He is definitely maintaining his posture a little bit better. He is not losing his spine angle towards impact. And this is a good change. I think this is a great thing that happened. It was a little bit longer to take because of the feedback he received and also that I got from him, and that's the middleman that we're missing when we're doing these online lessons. But let's take a look at his face on. So the old one's on the left, new one's on the right, and without any super slow motion, it's really hard to pick up on some details unless you have a trained eye. But I'm going to show you one frame where we can see clear evidence of some changes. So here we have the exact same position in the framework, and what you'll notice is we moved his ball position up on the new swing on the right side, and this will help him delay that release because he would throw his hands down into it, and that would cause some sky balls, some tops, some heaviness, pulls, pushes, you name it. But now you can see he's holding on to his release a little bit longer, allowing his body to get more involved. So let's take a look at what Philip's feedback was. Previously, my golf game was plagued by duff shots and hooks, but thanks to your swing analysis, I've made some important swing adjustments. I can now consistently hit the ball solidly with a slight push slice. I attribute this positive change directly to the insights and techniques you've shared in your videos, specifically the change in the grip and ball position. As I always stress, ball position and grip can make your swing a success or a failure. The bi-weekly cadence of the video submission forced me to regularly visit the driving range and work on my game, even when life's distractions would typically get in the way. I would say that over the past 10 weeks, I've hit more golf balls at the driving range than I have hit in years, which has improved my overall golf game outside of driving. I do have suggestions for improvements, as my hack of a swing, now we don't use that word out here, needed multiple adjustments. It initially felt quite uncomfortable as I tried to make 3 or 4 changes simultaneously. Perhaps you can consider including a pro swing analysis, as seeing someone else execute it firsthand can make it easier to grasp the concept. Overall, I would rate my experience as great. And before I give my feedback, let's take a look at Hannes and see his swing and his feedback. So here we have Hannes's old swing on the left, new swing on the right. We worked with a lot of setup, getting him away further from the golf ball, letting his arms hang down naturally. We changed the ball position slightly. He had a forward press. We reduced that forward press, and we started working on his club at the top of his swing and just getting turning down to the impact while holding his posture. So we can kind of see this with the full swing, but let's go and freeze frame slightly before impact and take a look at the difference. So if you look at Hannes's old motion on the left versus the right, what you'll see is the footwork. So if you look at his new motion, his toes are on the ground as he's coming through the golf ball. His old motion, his heel is flat on the ground. You can see that left foot is coming up on his old motion, where the left foot is staying down. So he's moving his weight more evenly. This is because we changed his ball position, plus worked on his posture. You can see he's much more down as he's striking the golf ball, and he's not releasing the club as quick as he did before because of that golf ball position. Let's take a look at the front. So here we have Hannes' old swing on the left, new swing on the right, and what we can see is that ball position slightly more forward in the new swing. We got him to level out his shoulders and also pull his hands back to the center of his chest. This allowed him now to use his weight correctly and not fight his way to strike that golf ball at impact. But I want you to take a look at this one frame to make sense of it all. So if you take a look at this about 2 frames before impact, the hands are in a relative same position. However, we see how the shoulders on the left side are rocking under, where the shoulders on the right side are more level, causing him to swing more down. And if you take a look at this hand position, he is holding on to more lag, his weight is getting to the left side more effectively, and his hips are not spinning out or firing too soon. And this all came with the centeredness of your setup, making sure those hands are connected to your chest and also moving your body correctly around that center point. And this is the big change for him. So let's take a look at the feedback from Hannes. It was sometimes hard to remember everything you said in the video, and I was sometimes frustrated that I could not achieve the goals you set out to me. I think sometimes the communication was only unidirectional, mostly by me. You said something in the video and I had to adjust, but I did so without asking questions. I think if we had a dialogue, then it would be easier. And of course, we had the opportunity for that, either via email or via the YouTube comments, but it was something that I did not do for some reason. Getting a lot of feedback in the video was difficult, since going to the range to practice, you could only remember small parts of it, and with the golf season in my country coming to an end, it was increasingly difficult to find the time to go to the range, and by that point I had to hope that I could remember everything you had said. Sometimes I wish the feedback would happen more often and sooner, like sending one video, getting feedback for that, and sending a final submission for the video so that I have a chance to correct. But then again, it is dependent on how much time I have to go to the range. Sometimes it was difficult to understand what the main fault is and how the feedback would correct that. I got the sense that you focused on some other fault that I did not see, but you're the expert, of course, so it might be that I just didn't understand how it would help me. For the feedback I received, it was hard to translate it into exactly how you wanted it to look on video. I think if you gave some keywords on what to search for on YouTube for specific drills, it would be easier to fix. So where does this all take us in this experiment? Well, what I found out, and this is what I suspected when I first started, is it's missing the middleman. It's missing me being there, physically putting you in the position to help you out. Now, yes, we made some big changes and I think it's a great thing, but it came a little bit at the frustration of the student. As an instructor, my job is to help a student get better, and we're missing a huge part by me not being there. When I give private lessons, my number one goal is identifying a cause and effect. I then teach my students on that cause and effect and what to look for when they're working on their game, specifically when they're hitting golf balls, and how to measure their misses based on their positions. My next objective is to teach them the feel for their practice. Now, this could be an exaggerated practice swing, this could be an exaggerated drill, and without that feel, I can see why this can be very frustrating for the students to try and search for the positions I want them to get in when I say it on the internet. But when you're not there and when I'm not there, it's very hard for me to put you in the position and to leave you doing it on your own. You can see it can get a little frustrating. I found myself giving same tips weekly, and this is normal for somebody that doesn't practice correctly, and it's no mark on the students. It's my issue because I didn't teach them correctly, but I wasn't there to help them. So, and this happens in real life too. If I give a real life lesson and I tell my students to practice correctly and this is what I want them to feel, and we focus on this and we give them that field drill, and they don't practice for the next week, I'm probably going to give them the exact same lesson the next time I see them because they're not ready to pursue the next position. So the same thing applies here. Do I think this is worth it? Yes, obviously instruction is good, but everything will come at a cost. Yes, it is much cheaper. It's probably $20 to $40 an hour versus $100 to $200 an hour. But what do you really save? Because it might take you 5 or 6 times to get the same position as one quality in-person lesson. So it really comes down to what you're looking for, how quick you want to get there, and obviously your budget and your time. Changing anything in golf is very tough. It is not easy, specifically if you have instilled negative habits. Many years of negative habits take twice as many years to reduce. So my high suggestion to you is if you can go, if you're brand new to golf and if you need instruction, get the instruction right away. It's all fundamental work. I can hit a golf ball correctly from any position. I can hit it backwards correctly if I wish to, blindfolded correctly, but how often can I hit it correctly? And that's the key. I see many students hit the ball well, but they don't hit it well enough times in a row, and that is what's consistency. That is what we're missing. So if you are struggling, yes, this is good. And yes, it can help you, but it comes at a cost. And missing the middleman, missing being there in person is a huge disadvantage. So I still recommend going to see a golf professional in person. I want to thank my volunteers. I know it took a lot of time from you, it took a lot of time from me to figure this out and get the scheduling going. So I appreciate all your efforts. If you do like this, hit that like and subscribe. Let me know if you want a season 2 on this. I'm up in debate. I don't know if I want to do this again because of the work it entails. And do we really change somebody's swing for long term? Maybe, maybe not. You can let me know in comments below. And don't forget, hit that like, subscribe, and notifications on. Your help really supports our help to send kids down in South Africa money to get them into golf. Until next time, fairways and greens.